Hello, welcome to our interview with BKT. We have with us Mr. Rajiv Podar, who's the Joint Managing Director. Balkrishna Industries has its flagship brand. BKT is one of the worldwide leaders in off-highway tires. Today considered to be amongst the few homegrown multinational companies to have created a globally successful brand. Over the years, BKT has successfully focused on specialist segments such as agriculture, OTR, industrial ATV, and gardening applications. And it has also come up with tire novelties that cater to the most demanding user needs in any off-highway applications. Uh, Mr. Rajiv Podar, who's joined the company 15 years ago, um, I actually, rather than talk about what he has done, I know that he's done his graduation in business management from Kingston University in London. But I'd like him to first tell us about his journey with BKT, and then we can take on the rest. So, welcome, Rajiv.
Hi,
Tell
thank
us
you.
how
Thank
you
you, Mr. Pradhan.
tell us how you've come to be into BKT.
So BKT was started by my grandfather, and we are a promoter-run company, and I'm the third generation from the promoter side into the company. That said, we are no less than we have a full-fledged professional team of people helping us run at various operations and at various positions. So we work together as a team, and that's how we operate at BKT. My journey with PKT started 15 years back, as you said, and it's been an entertaining one. It's been one where I've learned a lot. So right, started off my journey from factories where I spent nearly about a year, and learned really the tricks of the trade, as they say, about tire manufacturing, and then moved on to head office. And during my tenure at the factory, I've actually built tires as well. So we went through that experience. It was very very cool and very different. So and then moved on to head office, and then once you're in head office, it's a very different role where you're getting into strategy, into direction where you want the company to go. So along with our team of core team of people and me, my father, who's our chairman, we've all taken the journey and taken BKT to where it is now.
And so, tell me, why did BKT venture into off-highway tires, where 100% of your, strategies and your focus was?
So BKT was actually when we started off. I'll go back into history to answer that. So when BKT started off in 1988, 87, 88, we started off as a two-three wheeler manufacturer for some of the OEs at that time, and then in '95, we sort of found a niche that there is a space available in off-highway space, and there are not many players, and that's when we decided to enter in. And that time we took a call that we should be let's focus on this segment, and if we want to get somewhere in this, it's a huge market available to us, and if we want to get somewhere, let's focus fully only on that. You can't have your wings in, as they say, you can't have your foot in every door and try to keep it open. So we took the jump, we took that, and since then we've not looked back. um, Now also many times we are asked, why don't you go into off highway, get out of along with off highway, go into other segments. So I always tell people that this is a segment where we have strong tailwinds with us. We know the market very well. We have a global market share of only 5%. So we have 95% of the market available to us, and it is growing, the market. So why should I leave somewhere where I have knowledge, where I have tailwinds with me, pushing me forward, and go into a territory where I would have to start from scratch? So that is where we sort of stuck to this, and we want to grow in this. We focus on this and we grow in this, and this is really our bread and butter.
No, but why in the initial stage when you must have assessed the marketplace, was it large enough for a player to get in that was neglected in a segment that was neglected?
Yes, so as I mentioned to you earlier, that there was a gap in this segment because a lot of the uh, multinationals were trying to get out of this segment to focus on the commercial segment, and there was not so many people paying attention to the segment. So we saw a gap, and we entered the market and took that gap.
But that was a domestic market gap, or was it an international
No,
market gap?
international market cap.
Also,
So
right from the
when
beginning.
we started off into the segment, we decided to be 100% into exports, and till about 4 years back, we were about 92% of our product was being exported. Recently, our focus in India has grown up in the last 4 years, with the modernization coming in India in the agricultural space, the automation that is being coming up. So we focused on Indian market in the last 4 years, and now 15% of our product is sold in India. So when we started off, my turnover at that stage was about 3,500 crores, and 92% was exported. And today we are at about roughly 5,000, just over 5,000 crore in the last balance sheet that we closed, where we had about 15% of our product was in India. So you could see how India has jumped up. So not only in terms of percentage of our market pie, but also in terms of volume and in turnover. So it's been a huge market for us in India as well.
But we have large tire companies in India. Why were they not servicing those markets when they had bigger capacities? And how have you been able to succeed?
I think everybody is for servicing this market, but as I told you earlier, that this is my bread and butter. It's not that I can fall back on a truck bus tire or a commercial vehicle tire to get that additional sales out. So my focus is only and only on one segment, and if I don't sell this, I don't sell anything. Whereas if they don't sell this, they can always fall back on a truck bus tire or a commercial vehicle tire to gain the market share and keep the revenue going.
So with 80% of your sales now in Europe and US, which would be your prime countries within Europe and within Europe?
So I'll correct that. 85% of my sales is overall export. Out of that, 50% is US. 50% is Europe, and about 25% is Americas. Out of the 85%, and within that, in Europe, Germany would be our largest. So Western Europe would be our largest market share as of today.
So
Germany,
you're
UK, Spain, Portugal, these markets. France,
but having
Netherlands.
serving Netherlands, okay. Serving international markets like Europe and Americas, doesn't that give you a quality edge as far as, because if you're able to satisfy such trying customers out there, then bringing that same quality in India, doesn't that give you an edge in this market?
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on, because that's what we've been. If you see the way we position ourselves in India market, we always say that, we are a multinational who's headquartered in India. So, our Honorable Prime Minister is talking about make in India, made in India. And we've been doing this mantra for last 20 years now. More, in fact, 25 years now. So, where we are focusing on off-highway space, manufacturing in India and exporting there. And as you said that when you entered in, what was your challenge? So we entered in without having a brand name, brand recognition, and our products got sold and accepted only on basis of its quality. And if you are able to, match the Western European players in their quality in their backyard, so definitely it gives you a, because now it's a part of our DNA and culture. Where quality is not negotiable. Production is negotiable, but quality of output is not.
So you're now venturing into, rather expanding your backward integration, which is carbon black.
Yes.
Is that going to be the component of your domestic, mix of product? Because I think now you want to enhance the revenues from India. So is that going to come from the carbon black business or also from the tire business?
So I think, Mr. Pratap, tire will always be our core business at Balkrishna Industries at BKT, and nothing would be bigger than that. And when I say carbon black, we did a backward integration because 30% of raw material which is being used is carbon black. So it's the second largest component after rubber. So we thought, why not create our own carbon black and create synergies, because we had our own captive power plant, and you can create synergies by burning the fuel to generate carbon black. And 60-70% of the waste of that is energy which can be used to generate your own power. So that is why we got into carbon black. then when we got into carbon black, you can't create apple to apple capacity. So if I need X capacity, I can't create X. I will always have to create slightly higher capacity so that I am at all stages able to 100% fulfill my capacity. Also, tomorrow when you grow in your tire business, you can't just then do an Apple setup for apple to apple setup for carbon black. So you always create that spare capacity. So it is done with that in mind, the capacity. So definitely revenue generation in the big scale would come from a tire in India. There would be some residual left over in the carbon black, which we are selling and which we will continue to sell.
What would be your market shares in agricultural, industrial, and OTR?
In India,
Yeah.
um, I would say we should be about close to 7 to 8% overall in off-highway space in India.
And overseas, you said 5% of the
5 to
overall market.
6%, yeah. Overall market space 5 to 6. Agricultural we would be close to about 10 to 12, and OTR we would be close to about 1.5 2. So, but on an average, we should be about 5 to 6% globally.
What is the percentage of our dependence for imports on China?
So very negligible. I would not be able to give you the exact percentage number of the of this, but if you look at the thing, so 50% is rubber roughly, 45-50% is rubber, which doesn't come from China because they don't manufacture. Carbon black we are doing our own, so that takes care about 75-80% of the raw material. Fabric we are not doing from China, we're doing from elsewhere. Little bits and portions come in, chemicals come from there, so it would be roughly less than 10%. If I could give you a ballpark figure of our product line would come from China, raw material line would come from China.
Now, given the COVID times, can you tell us how BKT has been coping so far?
So, COVID has been, what we are seeing currently has been unprecedented across the globe. I know we've had pandemics earlier, but that was a long time back and there was not so much of exposure globally. These are unprecedented times, so it is a challenge for us. But we are here to service the market, because eventually food is being needed. It's a necessity item today. You need food, so for food to run, to continue to work, you would need the farmers to go out and do the work. And so we are here to support and service that farmers who are putting their who are like the warriors in the COVID times, who are yet going out and doing their job so that people can continue to stay at home and stay safe and eat at home. So we are here to service that industry, and we are these are challenging times because at every stage. So during manufacturing also you require people, labor. So you got to make sure that they're safe. You got to make sure that people around them continue to remain safe. So it's a challenge, but we are hoping all right. We're managing the show so far.
Are your factories now operating at what capacity?
Yes, all by God's grace, all our factories are operating, all 4 of them, and out of the installed capacity, we would be close to about 70%.
So the tractor sales have shown an increase 12% over last year, and would that be something that is a category which is moving better than others?
So definitely agricultural sales is doing very good. That said, as commodities are starting to reopen, governments are starting to reopen the mining sector. So those things will, the demand will continue. It is, I wouldn't say it is a standstill now, but we are hopeful that with the opening up of unlocking of things, those demand should also become much more than what it is right now. Yes, the construction market is a little slow, but a lot of things have come to a standstill, which should, as and when as we move ahead, we are going through the unlock phase, and more and more things are being unlocked. So once construction is up and back in full speed and running, we see the market to come back.
Rajiv, I think BKT has made a big name in the global market. It's become a brand, and I think you all participate in various exhibitions across the world in the full flair of a multinational company. How has this marketing journey been? I mean, how did you adapt to sort of competitive ways of marketing alongside all the other much more mature multinational majors?
So, so as I told you, when we started our journey, we were not a we were not sold on brand and brand recognition. So, way back in 2005-6, we decided that, let's start doing things in the brand building phase so that, uh, you know, as we move along, BKT becomes a recognizable brand. So that was a conscious decision taken by us in 2006 that we need to do something on this. So we decided that let's look at what are the areas which would help us create a connect with our end users. And of course, you can't do everything overnight. And as they say, as the saying that Rome wasn't built in one day. So it's a journey, and we are going through the journey. So we started off with exhibitions, as you rightly said, and we enhanced our visibility through the outdoor promotions during exhibitions, and start building, attracting people to our booth. So if you seen, we started we've been distributing footballs at a lot of these shows where we give more than 10,000, 20,000 footballs depending on show size and number of days. So you got to attract people. That was the first step. Then we started looking out for uh, good publications, media, trying to associate with them and get our story across to the people. And that was the second stage. The third phase that we did was get aligned with uh, things that our end users would do in their free time. So, like in Americas, we've tied up with Monster Jam Trucks, the Feld Entertainment, and they do shows practically every weekend in normal times. I'm not referring to the stop now during COVID, but in normal times. So we've been present with them, and we are their tire partner. We supply them the tires. So it's got a lot of traction, visibility in Americas. In Europe, we did the same thing with football. So we are on La Ligas. We are sponsoring the La Liga football league in Spain. Serie B in Italy has got rechristened to Serie BKT, and the LFP2 in France, the League Division 2, is also we are the title sponsor. In Australia, we did uh, cricket over there in Australia is as much followed as we follow our cricket, and so we tied up with the Big Bash, their IPL. So we are one of the partners on the sponsoring partners for Big Bash in Australia as well. In India, we took this forward again. We have a lot of visibility in melas, which are there, Kisan melas. We do a lot of talks for in educational universities. The Kisan Yog universities. So we do over there. And also in sporting terms, we've done tie-ups with. We've been actively participating with Pro Kabaddi League, where we have a number of teams sponsored. We've also done the Tamil Nadu Premier League, and shortly you'll be hearing some more uh, sponsorships from us uh, in a big way. Give us a month, and
Great.
you'll hear on those.
That's great. Good to know, Rajiv. Thank you very much for speaking to us, and stay healthy and safe.
Thank you. You
All the
too.
best.
And we wish that all our viewers, all the viewers, uh, these are challenging times, and they're trying times. But let's hold in there. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. So stay safe, stay safe. Well.